ice physics in games suck. Who actually likes sliding around with no way of stopping yourself and no way of correcting any mistakes you make? Oh, you do? Honestly, you deserve a world record. World record for the only person to ever think that! You must live in an insane asylum for even having that opinion. And honestly, I should also be put in an insane asylum for torturing myself today by making the entirety of Undertale ice physics! Now before we start, you're probably wondering where to get this mod. Yeah, I'm not using a mod. Why? Because I'm poor. Does this make this video scuffed? Absolutely. So instead of finding a free mod online that works perfectly fine, I decided that I would just move a direction and not stop until I hit a wall. Alright, let's start this challenge that totally won't make me want to throw a chair against my window. I started in the ruins like every other game of Undertale, and met Flowey. Now you probably assumed that the ice physics would only be in effect in the overworlds. No, I added them in battles too. But since it's just Flowey, I can get hit and progress the game very quickly. But after Flowey, how the hell do we get out of this room? Well, let me tell you the overpowered strat of moving diagonally. Moving diagonally can really help me position myself to enter doorways and make progress in certain rooms. But that's not just the power of diagonals. To make it out of this room, I move diagonal on these tiles here, which allow me to enter the door and move into the next room. We'll be using this trick to enter certain pathways a lot later in the run. But then we got to the lever room. The first level took a little bit to find the right angle to hit, but the second lever took me like 3 whole minutes to find the right angle to move diagonally here to hit it. But at least something good came out of this room. After spending what felt like an hour and a half on a single lever, I remember that I haven't opened up Live Split to show just how long this run takes. But then we made it to the hardest room in the entire challenge. Yeah, you literally just hold right in normal gameplay to reach the end. This was the easiest room in the whole run. I already had 7 gold so I could buy the spider donut just to get Muffet, and I got the most insane luck because I got 4 Whimsun in a row to get all my gold, so I didn't even have to move in battle. After the Whimsun party, it was time to face the real hardest room in the whole run, the broken tile puzzle. You see, there's a set path you have to take in this room, or you'll fall to the room below. But when you have ice physics, you can't just hold right or up to make it through the whole room. So I had to break out the diagonal strats. But even then, the angle was so precise, and I had to make super precise diagonals twice in this room. The second one looked impossible to even do, but I guess we'll never know because after 5 minutes of me constantly falling below and somehow not breaking every bone in my body, the room just let me walk normally and I ended up moving into the next room. I didn't even know this was a thing, and I'm a master at this game. But in my defense, how can someone be this bad at a simple puzzle for this event to even occur? After buying the spider donut, I move into the 3 colored switch rooms. And you might think that this took forever, but it actually wasn't so bad. Trying to get into Toriel's house did take a lot of thinking to position myself correctly, but it also didn't take that long. Now we're fighting Toriel, and it's time to see how the ice physics would really work in battle. Yeah, no, I just stood there until she let me pass. Moving on to Soden, literally nothing happens here. With the way these rooms are designed, I could basically just play without the ice physics. That's how uneventful this place was. The ruins took me like half an hour to get through, but Soden only took like 20 minutes. So let's just completely skip over Soden so this video is actually entertaining. I wasn't too worried about Waterfall going into it, but boy would that come back to haunt me. You might be thinking that the struggle started later in the area, but it actually started in just the 3rd room. You see, I was trying to get the old tutu so I could use it for Metaton later, but the only way to get into the secret room is to position yourself using the falling rocks. And if you miss time by even just a little, you were either missing the rock entirely, or getting pushed down below. This room only took me like 3 minutes to figure out, but god was it annoying! The rest of Waterfall is pretty easy. I thought the bridge seeds in this room might give me a bit of trouble, but using the diagonal strats worked perfectly. The first Undyne bridge was really easy too. The bridge is very linear, so I just held right and sometimes moved up and down and made it through in one piece. But then we got to the second Undyne bridge. After dying so many times, the closest attempt was just before the big open area. I was getting really annoyed by that stupid bridge, so I did what I do best. Totally not hiding my 3 and doing the bridge normally. Oh my god, chat, how did we get here? It's probably possible to make it through this bridge with ice physics, but I just couldn't be bothered anymore. You got a problem with that? Well, guess what? I don't care. This is my video. Anyways, now I'm fighting my dummy, and this is where the ice physics in battle really shine. I have to guide these magic bullets into the dummy, but it's kinda hard to do that with the whole ice thing. But I came prepared, as I bought bicycles in Soden for this fight, and after only a few attempts, I made it through. Next I made it to Temmie Village and bought the Temmie armor. Where did I get all that money, you may be wondering? Oh, look, we're at Undyne now, and this fight pretty much goes as normal apart from the red soul phase. I made sure to lower my health so I can make it past Marathon's quiz quicker, and now it's time to go through Hotland with ice physics. But this might have been even easier than Snowden. There were times where maneuvering took more thought, but it just felt easier since I've had all this time to perfect controlling this goddamn ice! The core was a little trickier to navigate, but it was still quite simple. But then I got to Menaton and forgot to grab all of my healing items out of the box. But somehow, with a mere 2 HP left, I was able to boost the ratings high enough with my posing and armor sets. It was time for the hardest encounter yet, Asgore. But right after defeating Menaton, I came to a realization. Omega Flyway still exists. And how the actual fuck am I supposed to beat him with ice physics? I decided to deal with that thought later though, and continued to Asgore. And yes, getting into New Home took forever just like in the ruins, but the rest of New Home was easy, and I made it to the barrier. With the Temmie armor I obtained with the unsheeted gold, as well as the power of both talking and the pie, Asgore would only deal like 2 damage to me. There were still close calls in this fight, but thankfully I remembered to get my legendary heroes out of the box this time. After a long and fucking annoying fight, I beat Asgore, and now it was time to go completely insane. Omega Flowey. By abusing the save gimmick in this fight, where it saves your progress after every soul phase, I was able to make it to the final phase even after missing the act button here. But the final phase was my big concern. I would have to not only continuously attack Flowey using the fight button, but I would have to make sure to also hit every single heal the souls threw at me. My first strategy was to stand completely still, but that didn't work, so I tried something else. I was going to move left and right and hope for the best. Yeah, that didn't work either. After like 20 deaths during this phase, I gave up. It seemed impossible to get past him. But why don't you cheat like you've already done twice in this run? Well, I was cheating because I didn't want to spend the time doing something I knew was possible, but would take a long time. But this didn't seem possible, so it wouldn't be the same if I cheated here. Overall, this run wasn't too challenging, and I might even had a little bit of fun with it. Oh no. Do I like ice physics now? Ice physics in games suck. Who actually likes sliding around with no way of stopping yourself and no way of correcting any mistakes you make? Oh, you do? Honestly, you deserve a world record. World record for the only person to ever think that! You must live in an insane asylum for even having that opinion. And honestly, I should also be put in an insane asylum for torturing myself today by making the entirety of Undertale ice physics! Yeah, no, this one was a pain in the ass and I felt nothing but pain the whole time.